This is where the fun begins.
Clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose.
King Kong ain't got shit on me!
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Say my name.
And here we go.
What's going on, guys? What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Realish. I'm Derrick.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Matthew.
Yes,
we're still working it out. We're gonna find one eventually.
We'll get it. We'll get things together. All things come together in time. But yeah, man, it's been a kind of slow week in slightly slow week with entertainment news a little bit, but definitely want to acknowledge first and foremost, our thoughts and prayers go out to all the families that were affected by I can't pronounce this city. Is it Uvalde?
Yes, correct.
Okay,
Uvalde.
yeah. Definitely want to send out thoughts and condolences to the families that lost any loved ones in that senseless tragedy. But also we want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor. You see, if you're watching the show on YouTube, I got the shirt right here, Champ Number One Boxers. It's the most comfortable boxers that I've ever worn for workout and everyday wear. So please go to the link in our bio on all social media platforms. Check out the link through there. You support us by doing that. So you can support two Black-owned businesses at once. So please check them out and get something that's comfortable for both men and women. But get something for the champion of your life. How about that? And also, if you are watching this, and that means you are on the OTS Media YouTube page. So how about before doing anything else, even if you need to pause this, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. You'll get an update whenever we post something new, not just for this show, but for any other show that's underneath the brand. And that helps us as well with charting on YouTube. So please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and get that update when we post. So all the housekeeping is out the way. What's going on with you, bro? How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Dealing with some allergies over here, all the sniffling and
I feel you.
runny nose stuff. So I'm hanging in there.
Yes, sir.
But a nice long weekend to rest up and stuff. How you been holding up?
Yeah, good, man. Good. Had a nice really good rest. I hate saying this, man, but I binged watched. I didn't finish it, but I binged watched Stranger Things season 4, and I'm starting to think that the dream that I had last night has slightly to do with that. That was weird. That was a weird dream. So prayerfully, everything works out, and I don't end up twisted and mutilated somewhere.
Yeah. No, I'm in the same boat as you. I just I actually finished the season yesterday.
Okay.
So I also had a dream, a very odd dream, like with all the Stranger Things cast.
Okay.
I don't know why, but
That's so weird, man. That's so weird. One of the someone I follow on Twitter said that he was like, I think I'm assuming what's the name of the town again in Stranger Things? Hawkins. He said so now Hawkins is now Derry, implying that this is a mixture of that movie, Stephen King's movie with the Pennywise and all that stuff. Yeah, I it's so weird, man, because I don't remember them doing something like this before, but it seemed like and we'll do a whole review on it because I actually enjoyed this, but it seems as if this was they have evolved. They have evolved as a cast, and that is a good thing to see, especially as these kids are getting older. Because it was starting to feel a little weird with them still like almost were they even in high school in season 2 or 3?
Gosh,
Some
I
of them are
definitely
in
don't
middle
think.
school.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I mean, they were very young.
Yeah.
Obviously in the initial seasons, and then all you see are just the main cast members, like the height differential.
Yeah.
You look at that. Sorry, let me repeat. You look at the height differential, their voices
Yeah.
sound much
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
So it's a bit jarring, needless to say, because there's only a year gap between season 3 and season 4.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know many people who go through those kinds of growth spurts, but
Yeah. 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 Usually
anything is
basketball players.
possible. Yeah. But I choose not to acknowledge it because
Yeah.
like the actors can't, stop their biology, so to speak.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah. It's very, very interesting. I enjoyed this season. So we'll definitely maybe like we talked about this off camera, but we'll probably go ahead and do a feature presentation on season 4 when the second half of season 4 drops. But yeah, man. Let's see what else we got going on today, news wise.
yeah, certainly. So I know. Well, we have two topics of interest today. It's going to be about Top Gun Maverick's performance, and then Sony actually moving forward with a number of video game adaptations. So
Yeah.
I guess we could speak to the former. This is Top Gun Maverick earned $150 million thus far, which makes it the most successful opening weekend for any Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I just want to get your perspective on that. I know you posed an interesting question right before we began the podcast, which was, would this film be as successful if it had, been on a streaming service,
Uh-huh.
or you know, uh, things of that nature. So
Yeah. Well, shout out to Tom Cruise. That is for him to be what he's like 60 now, I think. Still making these type of movies, and it's great. Yeah, I don't know. Because I know he fought the release on streaming sites. Um, which I could slightly understand, but at the same time, I think Hollywood is trying to push back on the inevitable. And I think we're going to keep seeing this thing where the older uh let me say it differently, where the more seasoned people in Hollywood are going to be looking at it as a hindrance to their success with streaming sites. But to be completely honest, we've seen where these different projects have released on streaming sites, and I mean they've still done numbers. You're not going to get the exact same numbers because with streaming sites, you have to take into account that every account that's open, that's at least four to six people that are watching it there. So that does take down the amount of money you're gonna make. But str- streaming just makes sense though, right? Like it just, especially I think the pandemic, I think we've discussed this before, but the pandemic has kind of fast tracked um this ability to stream, because this is where we were going to go anyway. This is not, we've seen this, we see this in the video game industry. They're phasing out the physical copy of the video games, and it's, you know just for download on the console, right? So I think that's similar to how this is going to be, where we're starting to see. I was saying before about 10 years. I'm going to say that's cut down to at least about 5 now because of the pandemic, to where we'll start seeing, this be a thing where they start to embrace it. I don't think they have a choice but to embrace it. That there can be different ways you maybe think about uh and we see this with Netflix, when Netflix is trying to actually cut down on people's sharing passwords and stuff like that. So it's very possible they're able to implement something where, you have one main account and you can have different profiles on that account, like especially with family plans. That's how my family does it for all of our streaming sites anyway. Um, so I don't see how they're gonna be able to get away with it. I mean, avoid it. Actually, it's going to be something where streaming is a thing, but they wouldn't have made 150 million this weekend if it was on streaming sites. And I'm
Oh,
pretty sure that's his point.
undoubtedly. I mean, you look at the experiment HBO Max did, or
Mhm.
Warner Bros. Did with HBO Max, in
Yeah.
regards to Wonder Woman 1984, a film you dislike. So we'll leave it like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That only made
Yeah.
close to $200 million, but there are a number of people who watched it on the streaming service.
Hmm.
You look at the Suicide Squad, for instance, that only made a little over $100 million,
Hmm.
but had, I think it was like 4.4 million households watched it
Yeah.
in the 3-day release. Matrix Resurrections is another example, right? So I think the concerning aspect, that at least Tom Cruise is implying, is you sort of miss out on that authentic theatrical experience, where you're not surrounded by a live audience.
Right.
Because I think, for me anyways, I've sort of followed the custom of never being on your phone,
Hmm. Hmm.
during the theater. If I'm in the confines of my home, I can do whatever I like. I don't have
Yeah.
to sort of cater to to people around me,
Exactly. You can
or anything
pause
like
and
that.
when you need
So,
to.
oh yeah, exactly. So it's an interesting dilemma. I think streaming services have a number of benefits, but
Hmm.
it can also be a slight curse as well, because you look at Netflix and the amount of content they're pouring, most of which is not very high quality, right?
Hmm.
And since you're, what I mean, I know they're losing subscribers as of recently, but if you look prior, to that decline, I mean, at the end of the day, they're a multi-billion-dollar business, right?
Yeah.
So if a
Yeah.
film gets
Yeah.
like a 6% of Rotten Tomatoes for whatever reason, that's so insignificant to them when they have a number of other, exclusive projects that can make up um, for that singular thing. So, and you
Yeah.
don't have like viewership numbers; those aren't released. It's just Netflix determines this is successful, we'll renew you or we'll make you a sequel. And if
See,
we do it, we do it.
that's the thing as well. Netflix is going to have to release the numbers. Yep. Netflix is going to have to release the numbers because there's no way that you can continue to move in this direction where you have um these movies coming to streaming sites and that those numbers aren't released. If these numbers are released theatrically, they should be released on streaming sites as well. And I think that I don't I have a sneaky suspicion that if these numbers were released, some studios wouldn't like it anyway. So I think some studios actually like that they're not released. For example, um, had any of these Warner Brother movies been on Netflix, we wouldn't know what those numbers were. We would just know it was successful or it was unsuccessful, right? I do believe that the Adam Project was very successful on Netflix opening weekend, so it makes me believe that you know it's not a bad thing to just go to streaming sites, but I think that you have to have like a few things together to make it successful. And I actually believe that it'll force some studios to not be lazy, right? And that's possibly in terms of writing, casting, or whatever. Because
Yeah,
if you have if we see on Netflix Denzel Washington releases a movie, right, on Netflix, all you have to know is that it's Denzel Washington. You're gonna watch it. All you have to know is that that movie Red with The Rock. What was it, Red or Red Notice? With The Rock and Ryan Reynolds and Gia Godot. That was
oh, Red
on
Notice.
Red Notice. Yeah,
Yep.
that was on Netflix, right? All we had to know is that they were in a movie. That's it. We didn't need to know anything about the story. You just knew you were gonna watch it, right? And I think that that's what's going to be the thing that kind of drives these movies on streaming sites is that the A-listers, I think they're going to end up down the road demanding more money from the project because they literally drive eyes to that film or that series. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's yeah, for me, for out of like curiosity purposes, I just wonder, what executives say to these to the creators of certain shows or movies. I wonder
Mhm.
if they disclose the exact numbers, or if they just say, listen, we're actually very surprised by the increase in viewership for repeated viewings,
Mhm.
or anything like that. I don't know. It's I feel like as a creator, you have a right to know
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
if people are actually watching your product.
Mhm.
Um, and I've seen mixed answers from a number of actors, who are executive producers on the show. Um, it's almost like they don't really know, or if they
Right.
do know, they purposely give a vague answer. So
Mhm.
the most that's sort of one of the benefits of cable news is you go on official websites that record the amount of people who watched it. I think it usually includes DVR as well, like within the
Mhm.
first 3 days.
Mhm.
And they give it like a relatively accurate measurement.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, it's definitely a very curious thing.
Mhm.
Um, and I sort of, like you were mentioning before, at the end of the day, you have a very prominent actor in the industry, chances are you have a successful movie on your hands, regardless
Yeah.
of what the subject matter is, or
Yeah.
even if you have like a first time director.
Mhm.
They sell. I mean, they already sell tickets. So
Yeah.
who's to say they can't sell you for 2 hours on a
I
streaming
mean,
service?
we saw this in the music industry, right? Like we all of our music, for the most part, you can still get physical copies if you want, but for the most part, you listen to your music on streaming, right? Whether that's Tidal, Apple Music, Spotify, even SoundCloud. I don't whatever it is, but you're listening to it through a streaming site, right? This is not new. This is something that I actually think that the film industry is behind on. Um, I'm a lover of the theater, right? I love that experience. That will never be replaced. I don't care what you're talking about unless you get a home theater, like an actual home theater, you're never going to be able to replicate that feeling or that experience. So I don't think that this means that this is the death of movie theaters, but what I do believe is that this is going to end up being something that forces people to think more in terms of the projects that they work on. I definitely believe it's going to force them to think about it a little more because we have a this is just the evolution of technology. You can't avoid this, right? This is just how this goes. We saw this what 20 years ago, going from VHS to DVD and from CD to MP3, right? Like like this isn't new. The evolution is there, but I see why Tom Cruise didn't want to release it. I get it. I get it. The amount of effort that goes into like um sound design and stuff like that. You want to be able to hear these jets fly, right? You want to be able to experience that. So I get it. At the same time, though, when you're talking about reaching like a younger audience, the likelihood of someone uh wanting to experience that on in a theater versus watching it at home is less than what it used to be. Like I remember when like when I was a kid, movies coming out in theater from theater to home release, whether that was VHS or DVD, it seemed like it took forever for that to take place, right? For you to be able to actually go buy the movie, it seemed like it took forever. Now it seems like a movie is only in theaters maybe a month, maybe a little over a month, and then it's right to a streaming site. Even if you have to pay for it, right? You could still pay on Amazon Prime, something like that, like $20 for a rental or a purchase, right? So I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens, but I think that I'm going to wait. Excuse me. I'm going to wait for this to come out on I'm assuming Paramount Plus, and I'll watch it then. I am not going to the theaters to watch this. Top Gun
Yeah.
is not like that's not my movie, right? I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it. Still haven't watched the original, so I don't. It's never been something
Oh
that
yeah, yeah.
I cared about. But yeah, I'll watch it.
Yeah, your reasons are totally valid. And sorry, I know I didn't get a chance to contribute much, but
No,
everything you
you
said
good.
was on my mind. Yeah, I guess the, sort of the last point I want to bring up, and this is what you said at the very beginning. Obviously, congratulations to Tom Cruise.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a true icon in the industry, and I have nothing but the deepest respect for him. To create that cinematic experience.
I have
So
respect for him, but at the same time, I don't like the environment that he creates on set. If I ever had to deal with someone like that, we'd have issues.
are are you referring to, well, maybe not something specifically, but did you hear his rant in
Yeah,
the midst
that's
of the boxing
exactly what I'm
crew?
talking about.
Yeah, is that what you're referring? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know if
We
you're
we
referring to it or
we'd
like
have
generally
issues.
speaking, yeah.
Oh no, we'd have issues. Like, nah, you
Yeah.
can't talk to a grown person like
Yeah.
that.
We're
You know what
saving
I'm
millions of effing jobs here.
saying?
It's like I'm on the phone with the studio every effing day.
Like
If I see you do it again,
I
you're
get it
out.
because these
Done.
movies they cost a lot to make. So if you have people that aren't following protocol in terms of, because especially at that point was the COVID protocols. Get it? Like I get the frustration, but bro, I'm telling you right now, I had someone talk to me off cuff on a set before. That did not go well, not for him. So like that it's already tense being on a set. It's already tense. You don't need to take that out on people like that. So I got respect for Tom Cruise, but at the same time, I've lost respect for him. So very, very interesting dynamic. I got respect for him because he does his own stunts too. You know what I'm saying? Bless you. I see that he does his own stunts, and he's been doing his own stunts, at least the majority of them, for his entire career. So I got respect in that sense as well. But you just gotta learn how to talk to people, man. You can't be like that. Not like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think needless to say, those crew members did not stay near each other for the rest of production.
No, no, no,
I
no.
think he was yelling at them because of social distancing purposes, or
Mhm.
I can't remember if. Anyways, we have to go into specifics of that, but
Yeah,
um,
I think it was a
I think
mask thing too.
yeah, I think maybe he could have conducted himself a bit more professionally, but uh, at the same time, given the stress and time on their hands, you
Yeah,
could understand his reaction. It's sort of up to us to determine if he was in the right or wrong.
but this is not the first time that it's come out that he's done that. That's why I'm saying that.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Like
I'm
if
not familiar with his angry track record.
yeah,
So
yeah, it's not the first story. If it was the first one, I'd get it. But people, at least other people have said certain different stories about his conduct on set. So yeah, we yeah, I wouldn't hold back.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
care. I
Mission
don't care who
Impossible.
you are.
Yeah, yeah. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. I think.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. We'll see if any interesting production stories come out. But
Yeah,
I
for
guess
sure.
speaking of more production, I know
Yeah.
sort of our second topic we're going to discuss for today was Sony is moving forward with a lot of video game adaptations.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I know the last was HBO series or something we discussed in great length. I'm
Cannot wait.
sorry. Um, for those who wonder why I say I'm sorry, you know, you can find the episode
Yeah.
and you'll see his reaction to a
Yeah.
certain take I had.
Yeah.
We'll leave it like that. Stay humble. And then you have the you have the Ghost of Tsushima adaptation.
Yeah.
You have a God of War TV series, which is well, probably in the early stages of development at Amazon. Horizon Zero Dawn is getting its own series at Netflix. And then weirdly enough, Gran Turismo, which is the popular
Yeah,
racing game,
yeah.
is also getting a project of some kind. No confirmation on whether it's a movie or TV show, but I expect it to be akin to Top Gun. Really enough. Um,
It put me in the mindset of like Need for Speed. Do you remember that cheesy Need for Speed movie that came out?
yeah, I do, and I think they're looking at the director
The same
to take
one?
on. I believe so. I saw a headline, so I didn't look any
Okay,
deeper into it, but
okay,
I
okay.
had to read into it. So I don't know if they have eyes specifically set on him, but I
Oh,
mean he has that experience, so
I would go
you
with
know,
Justin Lin, man. We've seen his as trash as Fast and Furious has been, we've seen his ability to, direct those types of films anyway. You know what I'm saying? And I think that would be a good look, especially with him walking away from Fast 10. That he's got free time right now. So um I I love this actually. Um, I don't trust Sony in general, at least with comic book movies. But in this sense, I do expect it to be really good. Because the video games, like these these video games you discussed have broken records, right? And it makes sense for them to try and expound on that success and develop even more, which will allow them to develop more games. I think it's a strategic thing. Somewhat, it does make sense because, um, like even for The Last of Us, like I want to play part two again, and the series is coming out. I think, if I'm not mistaken, sometime this year, maybe next year.
yeah,
Um, that is coming out. So, it like Ghosts of what's it called, Tsushima.
yeah.
I gotta play that game. I these all these games you brought up, I haven't played these games yet.
Oh, that's interesting.
So
Actually,
yeah, I'm
that's
I'm
very
looking
interesting.
forward to it. Well, that's why I went and played The Last of Us, because I knew the series was coming out. I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and get familiar with the game
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and understand what the series is going to be about. So yeah, I mean, I was going to get God of War anyway, but I just don't know. So I was asking someone, where should I start? Is it like, should I start with the originals, or can I
Or the
pick up?
2018 version.
Yeah, can I pick up where that starts? Because the graphics on the original ones, I don't want to deal with those graphics,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like if I have to, then I will.
Here's what I will say. And actually, you helped me. You're gonna help me raise a question here. Is assuming you know, let's say for instance you don't play the games at all, right?
Mhm.
Series, movies, etc. They release. Do you think you'll find the same level of enjoyment as someone who's already experienced the game?
No, because I know that watching it, I'm missing some element, right? Like, did you watch the Halo series on Paramount Plus?
I did. I did not actually. I know that was a bit divisive, so to speak. So
Yeah, I watched, maybe, did I watch the whole first episode? I don't even know if I finished it. I may have. Um, but to me, it felt like, and this is why I applaud Sony for doing this, because Halo, there was rumors of a movie or a show coming out years ago.
yeah, with Steven Spielberg attached.
Yeah, years ago. And back then I was hyped up and ready for it. And then when they announced the series coming out on Paramount Plus, I'm like, oh, I'll watch that. But then it released, and I'm just like, I really don't care. You know what I'm saying? I did watch the first episode, and or at least the majority of it, and it seemed cool, but at the same time, like,
It felt like the
cheesy.
Yeah, the common I saw I saw like a funny comment and it said this is the first $100 million show to look like fan fiction.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I
or
don't
something along
understand.
those lines.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand about it. I I get why they did it, but I this it didn't hit the same, man. Because
No, I totally. I from what I understand about the show, I'm not aware of like some of the characters. I'm not well versed into the Halo lore. I've never been the biggest. Jesus, let me start from
yeah,
the beginning. Uh, voice crack. I've never been the biggest fan. But I think there's such an interesting. It's a very specific world.
it
That
is. It
that
is.
has to be done by people who have an understanding of the source material.
Yeah,
Maybe the creators did, and they purposely took liberties, but there's nothing wrong with that. I think that you always have to try to make something your own, right? Not have it be a one by one adaptation of the original source material because you need to toss in some surprises here and there, but um, it's just it sort of leads into another question: is where's that balance of honoring the source material and making it feel relatively unique? Because I feel like a lot of
yeah,
creators these days keep doing this thing where like they say we didn't even look at the movie TV show like the original basically like the original source material in preparation for this as if it's supposed to like suddenly generate hype that you have because for us you read that headline or you read that quote we interpret it as you didn't care to do this, you're just using in this case Halo
yeah,
as an excuse to market your show.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like you
yeah,
need to have an understanding. Like we're not expecting you to, you know what I mean? And that's why it leads into like you can do like a different Spartan. And
yeah.
is labeled as like a Halo story. Like you know how Star Wars has like their spin-offs? You can just
Yes, yes,
Spartan 101. I don't know. It's a generic title. A
yeah,
Halo story. It's
yeah.
it's set in the Halo universe and you can do whatever you want as long as it doesn't, retcon or go against, anything that's been established.
And then
So
like the
sorry,
master
a
master
lot of
chief
load
could
stuff,
come.
but
No, no, I agree with that though. But like master chief could join and stuff like that, like during the series or something like that. I just I personally don't understand the egotistical aspect of it where you're saying, oh yeah, we didn't watch the source material or whatever. Like that doesn't, to me, if it reads like that, it you don't have to say it. We know you didn't watch it. We know you didn't partake in whatever because of the fact that this has nothing to do with what made us fans of the story in the first place. Excuse me. So I like that's where I can at least credit Sony for not taking too long to uh 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 you know make these projects, because if the games are already popular, if you put a movie out or a series out, it's going to gain more steam to where, okay, let's put a sequel out for a video game, or even if it's not a sequel, another part of the series, let's put something else out and loosely tie it into the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like that builds out at least, what, maybe close to 8-10 years of material for you, or success for you, if you do that, because you can end up coming out with like two movies or something like that and a video game within that time span. Like it makes sense. Now, The Last of Us, the original one came out, what, in like 16, 17,
2013.
13? Jesus.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Okay. And then part two came out like 2 years ago.
2020.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So that's enough time between two sequels to where you want to make a movie. And there's rumors of a third one coming out, right? So um it makes sense that they build on that success, right? You
Yeah,
build a
certainly.
series, and the series, like, you don't have to have the series follow it shot for shot. We don't want a shot for shot film or movie, film or series, uh, going into the video game. But we do want something that feels close to it, because think of the whole Last of Us world, right? There's there's other aspects of it that they didn't tell the story of in the video game, right?
Very true. Yeah.
You could just lean into that and then loosely base it into the video game, and then we're
Yeah.
good.
I
We don't.
yeah, exactly.
It's not far fetched. That's not a hard thing to do.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because sort of what why I'm excited to see the Last of Us series is the exact feeling you described.
Mm-hmm.
Because Neil Druckmann, he was the game director, and then I think he's actually one of the main script writers, and so he said, we're not looking to. He says something along the lines that we're not looking to outright change the story. We're looking to enhance what's already there.
Right.
So you remember Bill from the original Last of Us? He had he had a lover. They're looking. They're probably gonna have scenes dedicated to him.
Yeah.
Have opportunity to see Ellie's mother.
Yes.
Like, you can do that.
Yeah.
In fact, a lot of what they're filming now is like almost a direct recreation of the scenes from the game. I'm sure you remember the moment where like Joel sees that like scavenger out on the street, and then he says like buckle your seatbelt. They actually filmed that scene.
Oh, okay.
They also filmed the scene of like the truck slamming into the store
Okay.
as well.
Okay.
Like a
Okay.
quick
Yeah.
video. So
Yeah.
stuff like that, like, you know what I mean? Keep the story beats in check, and then take time to develop characters who may have not been given enough screen time. Like
Right.
Marlene is a prime example, right?
Oh my God.
Get to lean into their relationship,
Yeah.
how she and her mother, sort of interacted before, Ellie came into existence, right? So it's yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
I have full faith. I do have faith in Sony for once.
Yeah.
It's
With
only had the
this.
yeah, exactly. It's only had the right people on board, and they're not actively seeking to make things different for the sake of being different.
Exactly.
Then I think they have some great material on their hands.
Yeah.
Rising Zero Dawn, Rising Zero Dawn, God of War, particularly because they have very rich and expansive worlds that really benefit from having a TV format compared to a movie. So
Yeah, because you end up not rushing the story. Like if there's certain elements you can tell in the video game, tell in the video game. If there's certain elements you can tell in the film or series, tell it in that project. Right. We don't
yeah,
because if these worlds are so massive, like we still don't have a full understanding of like what caused the outbreak in The Last of Us, right? I would like to see that. I would like to see that, to be completely
yeah,
honest. Like what
yeah.
created this problem? And you don't even have to really like, I don't even think they fully discussed the reasoning for it to start.
Yeah.
It's just that these people just started going wild. So we don't have any material, like as an audience, we don't have any material to hold the filmmakers or series makers on, so they can run with it with their imagination, right? And now our material to go with.
Yeah, and another thing too is pacing is so different. As a player, what would you rather do? Watch a cutscene or play the game?
Play the game.
You want to play the game. You look at a TV series,
Yeah.
you're not going to be able to deliver lines of dialogue, or
Yeah.
like, I'm trying to think, like, I'm trying to find a way to phrase this. Like, it's some obviously like when you're in certain gameplay segments, characters interact with each other. Obviously, it's to take out their threat, but it's sort of like video games work so differently because gameplay segments for the most part are frequent, whereas a movie or TV show, there's even more of a build up.
Yes.
So because you have to keep, because there's they're totally different ways of keeping people engaged,
right?
Because yeah.
And if you have a series, you have a lot more time to work with. If you're in a film, you only have 2 hours, give or take.
Yeah.
So your pacing is different. Your pacing might be a little faster. So the Need for Speed makes sense as a video, as a movie, not a series.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like Gran Turismo, right?
Gran Turismo. Yeah, my bad.
Well,
Yeah,
no, you're all good
Need,
because I think in the beginning you
Need for
mentioned
Speed.
that the
Yeah,
Need for Speed director.
same
Yeah.
thing though.
No, no, you're all good. Yeah.
But yeah, Gran Turismo would
Literally. Yeah.
make sense as a series. I mean, I'm sorry, as a movie, because the pacing
Yeah.
doesn't have to take too. You don't have to build up
Yeah,
too
yeah. You don't
much.
build characters. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
gonna be like the Top Gun of honestly, it's gonna be the Top Gun of racing.
most likely. And Ghost of Tsushima, that will likely be a series.
That's actually a movie.
It's a movie.
Interestingly enough, so
Wow. Okay,
it's
but they're coming out with a sequel for the game, right?
um I know they came out with an expansion. I don't remember when, back in 2021, I think.
Okay.
Um, I don't, they haven't outright confirmed anything, but
Okay.
don't be surprised if one's announced in the near future. I think actually Sony is coming out with another state of play in
Oh, okay.
June, so I
Okay.
expect them to announce a number of they'll probably like show gameplay for like games already announced and probably show what they have in store for the future,
Yeah.
things like that. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, so as you can see, it's a very interesting conversation to have because
For
I
sure.
think video games can be more complex than people think. Last of Us is a prime example of not only having those necessary gameplay elements, but
Yeah.
having a an emotional story as well.
Yeah, because I remember
So
like video games when I was a kid. Oh my god, that sounds so old. But like when I was a kid, I didn't have that connection to the character or whatever. And you can say that for a lot of things in terms of like maybe it was graphics or maybe it was the actual type of game that was being played. Like, but Halo was probably the only one where it was like there felt like an emotional connection to the storyline, especially with like the Cortana character. Like you experienced that, right? That was my first time experiencing that in a video game. But everything else I don't remember, like having that type of connection because it wasn't it didn't feel like there was that much development to make
yeah,
have that kind of connection.
I-
But the evolution of video games has allowed that to take place where video games feel so immersive.
it's astonishing.
It's
Uh,
amazing.
and I know we bring up we brought The Last of Us, but to see the the evolution of graphics
Oh my god.
from the original game. Listen, my I know before we went into this part of the discussion, I said that I had a certain take.
Mm.
I said the take was The Last of Us Part Two is the most poorly conceived story in the past decade. I still stand by that, but nonetheless, I have to compliment the animators because how they're able to have these characters look so real. I can't do what they do, right? And
Bro,
that's the aspects of their production I will never take away from them. You know,
the ability to
so
go from cutscene to gameplay, uh
oh yeah,
so
Red Dead Redemption Two
seamless.
is a great example.
I didn't even know when I was not playing.
Yeah, it's seamless because they shift the aspect ratio a lot of the
Yeah.
time. Well, I think Last of Us. I don't even think The Last of Us does that. I think it literally like
Yeah, see, it doesn't.
interesting. I don't even think it
It
ever does
doesn't.
not once.
It stays the same, and that's why I was so confused when I was actually playing or not playing
Yeah,
because
you're
it's
probably like
like
on your phone and looking at your phone real quick. You're like, oh, wait, what? It's
I
like,
this is the one
yeah.
game where I would not look at my phone while I was playing.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Fair
That
enough.
like if I need to look at my phone, I'm pausing it. Right?
Yeah,
Like it was
he's like,
like
I don't want to miss anything.
I'm not missing this.
Yeah, yeah.
But it
That's
seemed
awesome, man.
like they did such an amazing job with that visual aspect of it, that it brought you into the story and made you like I know for me, I'm only gonna speak for me. I know I felt emotional playing the game because it was like it felt like a roller coaster. You're cheering for these different characters to win, and then all of a sudden like it's like I don't want her to die or don't like you know what I'm saying. It's weird. It's weird, but I loved it, and that's why I do hope that the third part does come out after at least after this series, that they do make it because this is again there's so many stories to go with. I don't even know, man. I don't even know this. I'm playing part two again though. I am going to play it again.
You know what? I think I might play part two again just to see if my opinion has changed since
Yeah.
2020. Um, yeah, I think you're inspiring me. So I might play both games like back to back,
Okay. Yeah,
just so I
that's
have like
that's
the
how I played
full.
it.
Yeah,
That's how I played it back to back because it was such an immersive story. Um, I know we harp on Sony a lot. So mad respect to Sony. I love the video games. So as long as they keep everything, in line with the games, with the film or series,
you have a lot of success on your hands, and
yeah,
Amazon and Netflix is a bit. I'm not too worried about Netflix actually because I'm not sure how much creative input. I mean, they could theoretically have as much as they want because they're the ones distributing
mhm,
um the project, but they're also in collaboration with Sony too, so they sort of have to uh find some common ground.
yeah,
But when it comes to Amazon, I mean that's a very a very great place for
it
God of War.
is.
I mean, you spend $1 billion on a Lord of the Rings series, I think you can handle a God of War adaptation. So
Yo, I'm
it's
looking forward to that series too.
oh, me too. I played
I'm looking forward to that.
2018 and I was very impressed.
I haven't
Not
played it
among
yet.
my favorite games, but as someone who I never played the original God of War, so I went into
Oh,
2018. So 2018 is after the all the originals,
yeah.
but I didn't know anything about what happened to Kratos. I know like Kratos died and then comes
Mhm,
back. I
mhm.
forgot about that when I played, so I look at it as Kratos' past being left up to interpretation. Like, what did this man do?
Okay,
Why is he in the
okay,
position he is now? Like, why is
okay,
he looking to protect his son? And then obviously some of which is explained throughout the game. So
okay.
I look at it as like a reinvention, but also, that also falls in line with the original. So it was nice to come at it from that perspective instead of, having
Okay.
that existing knowledge, you
Okay.
know.
Okay.
It
That's a
was
good
actually
way to
really
look at it.
cool. It was really cool.
That's a good way to look at it. I'm that's likely going to either that or Miles Morales. Those are the next two games I'm getting.
Yeah. I didn't finish
Yeah.
Miles Morales, but my brother Angel, older brother Angel, loves that game. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure if you're gonna text him, hey, is Miles Morales any good? He's gonna say literal masterpiece. Play it.
yeah, oh no, he's the one that has been talking to me about these games the last couple of months
Oh yeah.
to get into. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. Sony, as long as see, just stay in your place. That's it. Stay in your lane. Like, no, do what you do best, right? Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to do these um MCU films. We don't need that. Stick with your video games
Yep.
and your video game adaptations. You're golden. You're
Yep.
golden. And
Exactly.
then do the other films. Like, you don't have to do Marvel. Like, and it's so weird because there's no way that they should be so good at this that they can't do Marvel the right way.
It's
That's what boggles me, man. Like, I'm so confused as to how that
different
even.
executives and their priorities lie elsewhere. I think the president of Sony, but he's basically like the head of the video game um branch.
Hmm.
I don't know like what his official title. I know he's the president of something. I forget what that something is,
Uh,
but he seems like a very down to earth person who understands like we know what the fans want. We're looking to deliver on some of our promises, and they've done that in recent years.
they
Not every
have,
game
yeah,
is a
yeah,
masterpiece,
yeah.
but look, at the end of the day, the reason why we're sort of talking about it here is because look, adaptations are very difficult.
They are
You hire the wrong people, they're definitely not going to do a very good job. But if you hire
hmm
the right people, you have a chance of doing a great job,
for sure,
right?
for sure.
So, it's that's sort of what I love about this podcast is we get a chance to really discuss, like the passion that goes into, the makings of films, especially ones that, already have that fan base
Hmm.
because you can't please everyone, and you sort of have to.
Not at
It's
all.
a juggling act. You kind of
It
have to
is.
figure out what do we want to do for ourselves, but also for the people who lived and breathed these characters for like a God of War, what 10 plus years, or Last of Us being
Yeah.
7 plus at
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's awesome, but also I mean sure as hell frightening for any person involved with those projects. So
Oh yeah, yeah. I think it's gonna end up forcing the hand of Microsoft because if they have any of those Xbox um um only um games, it's gonna be interesting to see what they do because like you're already behind with Halo.
yeah, yeah.
You
I
know
mean,
what I'm
I think
saying?
I'm glad you said that because Fallout is getting a TV series on Amazon. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Walt, actually, let me look. Well, uh, sorry. I don't want to obviously take up too much time, so I'm sorry about that. But
No, no, you're good.
yeah,
You're
no,
good.
I forget. It's like Walton Goggins, if I
Okay.
pronounce his first last name correctly. He's the lead. That's about it. It's just a follow
I never
adaptation. So
played Fallout.
I played a bit of 4. I got bored because I'm terrible at RPGs, especially ones that require like have a bunch of like crafting systems. It gets overwhelming.
Okay.
But they
Okay.
have like a
Okay.
mod. They have mods, like free
Yeah.
mods. It's not like illegal ones.
Yeah.
And basically you go into the shop and you can download them. So I would always
Okay.
download like this. Sorry, I feel like I'm like ranting a little bit,
No, no,
but
you're good. You're good.
needless to say, my experience was like I would use those mods. I get like weapons that do infinite damage, and I would just
Okay.
like go through like and then I get bored of that, and then
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I
There's
have
no
like New
challenge.
Vegas, Fallout 3. I played a bit of those,
Okay.
and stuff like that. So, anyways, needless to say,
Nah.
Fallout Pacers is coming. So, and now that Microsoft owns Bethesda, maybe they're starting testing the waters. I don't know if they're in collab. I know it's Bethesda because they're technically their own company, but I don't know if
Hmm.
Microsoft is overseeing it. I don't think so, but we'll see.
That's
We'll
gonna be
see.
interesting. Yeah. Again, they're already behind the ball, and Halo's their that's the flagship game, right?
Their
Like
saving grace.
that's their biggest property. So I don't know how how or what else they can do, but it'd be very interesting to see though if these if Microsoft and Sony are able to come together and do a film on or a series on any game that is on both platforms. Excuse me. That would be interesting to see.
What's interesting is that actually fall on the publisher as opposed to I think
Oh, okay. So like Modern
yeah, I think that
Warfare.
fall. I think they'll fall on the publisher. So if you're thinking of something like Call of Duty,
Yeah.
that falls on Activision.
See, that would be interesting though.
And I know like Activision having, I think at some point, well, actually they were bought by Microsoft. So there's a lot of
Mhm.
debate up in the air on if Call of Duty will become an exclusive. That's not their intention because they lose a lot of
Yeah,
money
I forgot they did say
that
that.
way.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they
Um,
would lose a ton of money.
oh yeah, yeah. I
Oh
mean
my
that's
God.
so I don't know. Yeah, right. That's all under Activision. It's kind of complicated now because since they're owned, so to speak,
Yeah.
by Microsoft, I don't know if that has an effect on like who they can be in communication with. Like if they say, hey, listen, we don't want you making a series unless we give you the green light, or we don't care. You have control over what we produce, but we can still, or in terms of games, but we can do
Hmm.
whatever the heck we like.
I mean,
So I don't know
honestly,
how that works.
it would make
Truthfully,
more. It would make sense for them to just keep it as is. You make more money that way, right? It'd be stupid
yeah,
to buy something and then suffocate its ability to make money
yeah,
because of whatever pride or whatever.
yeah.
Make look,
They have to
give them the
capitalize.
game. Yeah, you got to capitalize on that. So, and they better not make it Xbox exclusive. I just bought a PS4 this
Yeah,
year,
yeah, yeah.
so I'm
It's
looking to get a
like
PS5. Like,
yeah.
I want to stay on PlayStation. So
No,
you better
yeah,
stick
I
with
totally understand. But
what you
look,
got.
my thing is this, and sorry, I don't mean to. Well, this was not entertainment news anyway. It's just
Yeah,
like
yeah. No, you good.
it's like you look at Activision, or wait, no. You look at Microsoft. They've bought a lot of studios since like 2017 or 2018, but they've done nothing with them.
Exactly.
Look
Yeah.
at what Sony's doing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously, I have my games like all their exclusives are much better, like are better. And the thing
Hmm.
is, we don't know if Xbox can make better exclusives because they haven't released anything yet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can keep saying we're acquiring this studio, this studio, this studio,
Hmm.
but you're doing like $1 billion acquisitions. you need to start coming out with something and fast.
You should
Because we're you got Xbox fans who are looking like, yo, like we have an Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
Like where are the games at?
Yeah.
Like, we have Xbox Game Pass. We can play old games. We want something that fits with the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, people love revisiting the past, but it gets old quickly. It gets very old quickly.
Very fast.
So, yeah, like I said, it's overall, it's sort of it's a fascinating discussion to have, and one that I'm sure will something probably after we finish recording, something crazy will go down with like Sony and Microsoft. Like find out they're having like a huge feud or something over like a character. Like I don't know. Start filing lawsuits against each other, and then you never know. Anything's possible in this.
Oh, for sure.
Crazy world. So
for sure. And Bill Gates is running things at Microsoft anyway, right?
So yeah, literally, yeah.
You never know what's going to take place.
Yeah, Bill Gates is CEO of Sony.
Yeah.
Battled it out in the boxing match. You get the right characters. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, anyway, man, let's go ahead and I think wrap up this episode. As you guys know, we are we're splitting our episodes up in during the week now. So entertainment news comes out on Tuesdays, and the feature presentation will come out on Fridays. So this Friday, you can catch us. We're going to actually discuss the 2022 film Ambulance, directed by Michael Bay, starring Jake Gyllenhaal. So definitely tune in for that. But go ahead, Matt. Let's go ahead and give them our social medias, and then go ahead and get up out of here, man.
Yeah. So it's gonna be Matt underscore T. I'm having trouble speaking today.
You good, man?
On Instagram. I never really have a chance to say this, but I just want to thank you guys for the support. Even a single view, a single like is always helpful to us, and we really appreciate the support and the feedback. You've been giving us, to try to make an even better podcast than before. And of course, a huge thank you to Derrick for, I never get a chance to say it to him often, but I would say on camera. Thank you for having me join this podcast. I really appreciate it, and it's a hell of a lot of fun getting a chance to talk, entertainment news with you.
Oh man, I love it, man. I love it. I mean, yeah, I'm glad you joined, because we wouldn't have a show if you weren't on here, man. I said that last week, but we wouldn't have a show if you weren't on here. So I appreciate you for joining, man. This is great stuff, and we're still, as you guys know, we're still kind of like figuring out certain elements of the show. So we're learning on the job a little bit with it, but building as we go. And like Matt said, we appreciate you guys for your support. If you want to follow me at Derrick_OTS DERRICK. But please follow the brand at OTS Media Co. All social media platforms, OTS Media on YouTube. Again, if you are watching this on YouTube, if you have not done so, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button and notification bell. But only hit the subscribe button once, because if you hit it, twice, you're unsubscribed. So just hit that subscribe button one time. But please give us some feedback on any podcast platform as well that you're listening to this on. Rate, review, let us know what you guys think. Let us know what you guys want to hear us discuss. And give us some feedback, a little more feedback, on other elements that we can improve on. So like Matt said, without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do this. So we appreciate you guys very much. So thank you for watching and or listening, and we will catch you guys later this week.
You guys, thank you.